Once upon a time in the bustling streets of Shadowvale, a chance encounter brought Marcus Steele and Evelyn Montgomery together. Marcus, a charming but enigmatic figure, was known for his charisma and street smarts, while Evelyn was a hard-working waitress at a local diner. Despite their contrasting backgrounds, they found solace in each other's company, their love blossoming amidst the chaos of urban life. As their relationship deepened, Marcus and Evelyn dreamed of a brighter future together. They married young, their love a beacon of hope in a world fraught with uncertainty. After 4 years of marriage, they welcomed their eldest son Michael and 2 years later their second son Desmond. Life was going well for the young couple, but soon the financial hardship became overwhelming for Marcus. Marcus worked odd jobs to support their growing family, while Evelyn juggled her duties as a wife and mother and seamstress with grace and determination. But as the years passed, Marcus found himself drawn to the allure of fast money and easy living. He became entangled in the criminal underbelly of Shadowvale, his once promising future overshadowed by greed and ambition. Despite Evelyn's pleas for him to change his ways, Marcus was consumed by his thirst for power and control. The strain of Marcus's lifestyle took its toll on their family, leaving Desmond and Michael to navigate the tumultuous waters of their troubled childhood. They witnessed firsthand the tumultuous arguments and late-night disappearances, their innocence shattered by the harsh realities of their parents' fractured relationship. Desmond, in particular, struggled with his speech, his words often stumbling over one another in a frustrating jumble. His struggles made him a target for bullies, his confidence shattered with each taunt and jeer. But despite his difficulties, Desmond persevered, his determination a testament to his inner strength. It wasn't until Desmond's 13th birthday that the fragile facade of their family shattered, torn apart by a confrontation with a neighbor's son over a petty dispute. A simple football game between friends turned into a fateful confrontation. As the ball soared through the air, tensions mounted, and a heated argument erupted between Desmond and the neighbor's son over a disputed call. Tempers flared, and before they knew it, fists were flying and harsh words were exchanged. Amidst the chaos, the neighbor seized the opportunity to hurl insults at Evelyn, revealing long-held secrets about Desmond and Michael's father. With venom in her voice, she accused Marcus Steele of being a criminal, just like his sons, and threatened to involve the authorities if they ever came near her son again. With tears in their eyes, Desmond and Michael turned to their mother, seeking answers to the painful truths laid bare before them. But Evelyn's silence spoke volumes, her heart heavy with the weight of the secrets she had long kept hidden. The argument escalated into another violent altercation, leaving Desmond and Michael hands bruised and bloodied. As they looked at their mother for answers, faced with her son's tear-streaked faces, Evelyn could no longer bear the weight of her silence. She revealed the painful truth about their father's disappearance, her words a dagger to their already wounded hearts. Desmond and Michael stood in stunned silence, their world turned upside down by the revelation. The image of their father as a criminal shattered their innocence, leaving them grappling with a reality they could scarcely comprehend. With tears in their eyes and anger in their souls, that same evening Desmond and Michael made the difficult decision to leave home, their childhood innocence lost to the harsh realities of their fractured family. With animosity towards their mother for keeping this secret from them, allowing the constant whispers and laughs whenever they walked by a group of their peers, the silent mockery tainted by their father's dark deeds, they finally knew the truth. Their father wasn't dead, he had gone into hiding, fleeing from the law due to his numerous crimes. Behind, he left his wife and 2 sons with no care of their well-being or safety. With malice in their hearts for their mother's deceit, they packed their bags. 2 days had passed, and Evelyn returned home to a cold and empty house. She checked her sons' rooms only to find their belongings gone, with only a note saying goodbye. Her heart was broken, and she knew she might never see them again. She searched for them tirelessly, even involving the authorities, but they didn't show much interest. She was on her own, yet she kept faith alive and continued to go out each day before and after work to search for them. Alone and adrift in the unforgiving streets of Shadowvale, Desmond and Michael struggled to survive. They turned to petty theft and odd jobs to make ends meet, their days filled with uncertainty and fear. But as they grew older, they began to see the world through different eyes, their dreams of a better life leading them to the promise of a more lucrative town on the horizon. As Desmond and Michael ventured into the unknown, the streets became their classroom, teaching them lessons no schoolbook could offer. They learned to navigate the intricate web of alliances and rivalries that defined the criminal underworld, their survival dependent on their ability to adapt and evolve. Despite the hardships they faced, Desmond and Michael found solace in each other's company, their bond forged in the crucible of adversity. They became each other's confidants, leaning on one another for support as they braved the dangers of their new reality. Their journey took them to a neighboring town, where the promise of opportunity beckoned like a siren's call. They immersed themselves in the hustle and bustle of urban life, their dreams of a better future fueling their determination to succeed. But the streets were unforgiving, and success came at a steep price. Desmond and Michael found themselves drawn into a world of crime and corruption, their morals tested at every turn. They made alliances with shady characters and engaged in dubious dealings, their actions driven by a desperate desire to escape the poverty that had plagued them since childhood. As they climbed the ranks of the criminal underworld, Desmond and Michael became entangled in a web of violence and betrayal. They faced off against rival groups and law enforcement alike, their every move shadowed by the specter of danger. But amidst the chaos of their new life, Desmond never forgot the pain of his troubled childhood. His struggles with his speech continued to haunt him, a constant reminder of the scars he carried deep within. Yet, with each passing day, he found strength in his resilience, his determination unwavering in the face of adversity. Meanwhile, Michael grappled with his own demons, his thirst for power driving him to ever greater heights of ambition. He became consumed by his desire for control, his loyalty to his brother tested as he pursued his own agenda. Together, Desmond and Michael forged a path through the darkness, their bond as brothers unbreakable in the face of whatever challenges lay ahead. As Desmond and Michael delved deeper into the underworld, their reputations grew, earning them both respect and fear among their peers. They became known as the Steele Brothers, their names whispered in hushed tones by those who dared to cross them. But with their newfound power came new challenges and dangers. Rival groups sought to undermine their influence, while law enforcement kept a watchful eye on their every move. Desmond and Michael found themselves walking a tightrope between success and destruction, their every decision carrying the weight of life and death. Despite the risks, Desmond found a sense of purpose in his newfound role. He became a master strategist, his keen intellect and street smarts guiding him through the treacherous waters of the criminal underworld. With each victory, his confidence grew, his reputation as a formidable force in Shadowvale cemented by his actions. Meanwhile, Michael's thirst for power continued to consume him, driving a wedge between him and his brother. He became increasingly ruthless in his pursuit of dominance, his ambition blinding him to the consequences of his actions. As tensions mounted, Desmond and Michael found themselves at odds with one another, their once unbreakable bond strained to its breaking point. Yet, despite their differences, they remained bound by blood and loyalty, their destinies intertwined by the hand of fate. But amidst the chaos of their lives, Desmond found solace in the arms of Jasmine Blackwell, a woman whose beauty and strength captured his heart. She became his rock in a sea of uncertainty, her unwavering support a beacon of hope in the darkness that threatened to consume them both. Jasmine grew up in the neighboring community of Shadowbrick, a place marked by its own set of challenges and hardships. Raised in a single-parent household by her mother after she lost her father, Jasmine learned early on the harsh realities of life. As she navigated the streets of Shadowbrick, Jasmine found herself drawn to the allure of danger. Jasmine had witnessed the tragic death of her father, a pivotal moment that would shape her future. Struggling to cope with the loss, she found herself gravitating towards the wrong crowd in her grief-stricken state. Against her mother's wishes, Jasmine began spending more time on the streets, seeking solace and companionship in the company of negative influences. Fueled by a sense of anger, resentment, and a desire for escape, she delved deeper into the underworld of Shadowbrick, where she found a sense of belonging amidst the chaos and danger. This way of life eventually led her to Desmond's criminal empire, where she saw an opportunity to escape the cycle of poverty and hardship. Starting off as a small-time accomplice, Jasmine quickly proved herself to be shrewd, resourceful, and unafraid to take risks. Her keen intellect and street smarts earned her a place of respect within Desmond's inner circle, where she played a pivotal role in expanding his illicit operations. It was within this dangerous world that Jasmine and Desmond's paths eventually crossed, setting the stage for a partnership that would change the course of both their lives forever. Yet, beneath Jasmine's facade lay a secret, a burning desire to escape the dangerous life they were living. She pleaded with Desmond to leave the criminal world behind, to start anew and build a life free from the shadows that threatened to engulf them. But Desmond's allegiance to the streets ran deep, his loyalty to his brother and his dreams of power clouding his judgment. He brushed off Jasmine's concerns, dismissing her fears as unfounded and naive. Unbeknownst to Desmond, Jasmine struck a deal with law enforcement, after she was caught in one of her criminal activities, leading to her arrest and subsequent ultimatum: provide information on Michael and Desmond in return for her own freedom. Reluctantly, Jasmine agreed, trading secrets for salvation. She fed them information, orchestrated raids, and betrayed Desmond and Michael to save herself from the abyss that threatened to consume them all. As Desmond's empire continued to expand and his influence grew, there remained a persistent question burning in the depths of his mind: where was his father, Marcus? Despite the power and success he had achieved, Desmond couldn't shake the desire to confront the man who had abandoned them. Determined to uncover the truth, he embarked on a relentless quest to track down Marcus, fueled by a mixture of anger and curiosity. Eventually, a tip from one of his associates led Desmond and Michael to Marcus's doorstep. The reunion was fraught with tension and bitterness, as years of unresolved emotions bubbled to the surface. Marcus attempted to justify his actions, pleading with Desmond to understand his reasons, but Michael remained skeptical, his distrust of their father palpable. After hours of heated discussion, Desmond found himself torn between loyalty to his father and the skepticism of his brother. In the end, he chose to give Marcus a chance, hoping to salvage some semblance of a relationship with the man who had once been his father. As Michael stormed off in anger, Desmond stayed behind to catch up with Marcus, eager to reconnect despite the lingering doubts in his mind. In the weeks that followed, Desmond allowed himself to believe that Marcus had changed, entrusting him with aspects of his empire that he had built from the ground up. But his trust would soon be shattered when he returned home one day to find his properties ransacked and his father gone. It was a painful reminder that Marcus's deceitful nature had not changed, leaving Desmond to grapple with the realization that his mother and brother had been right all along. Marcus could not be trusted. As he vowed to track down his father and seek justice for his betrayal, Desmond received devastating news that his brother Michael had met his demise in a law enforcement raid, a tragic end to a life filled with turmoil and betrayal. The revelation of Jasmine's betrayal shattered Desmond's world. His brother, Michael, fell in a blaze of fire, a casualty of a war they never saw coming. Consumed by grief and rage, Desmond unleashed hell upon those he deemed responsible, his wrath leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Desmond found himself on the run from the law, a fugitive pursued by the ghosts of his past. Driven by a burning desire for retribution, he embarked on a relentless quest to track down those responsible for his brother's death and his own downfall. With each step he took, Desmond felt the weight of his sins bearing down upon him, his heart heavy with the burden of his actions. But he pressed on, fueled by a fierce determination to confront his demons and find closure at last. Yet fate had other plans, and before Desmond could issue his long-awaited retribution, he was captured by law enforcement and brought to justice. He stood trial for his crimes, his fate sealed by the damning testimony of his former lover, Jasmine Blackwell. With Jasmine as the key witness against him, Desmond had no possibility of parole, condemned to spend the rest of his days behind bars. As the gavel fell and the sentence was handed down, he felt a sense of resignation wash over him, the realization dawning that he could never escape the consequences of his past. Meanwhile, Jasmine seized the opportunity to start anew, carrying a secret with her, leaving the country under a new identity with the chance of a better future. Though haunted by the memories of her past, she found solace in the knowledge that she had escaped the cycle of violence and destruction that had consumed her former life. As for Desmond, he found himself facing the harsh reality of his choices, his dreams of redemption shattered by the cold, unforgiving walls of his prison cell. Upon hearing of her son Michael's tragic end in a shootout with law enforcement and Desmond's life sentence in prison, Evelyn Steele's world was shattered once more. The weight of her grief threatened to crush her spirit, and in her despair, she suffered a cardiac arrest. Rushed to the hospital by concerned neighbors, Evelyn fought valiantly for her life, her spirit refusing to succumb to the darkness that threatened to engulf her. To everyone's surprise, she survived the ordeal, her frail body clinging to the threads of life with a tenacity that belied her years. As she lay in her hospital bed, weak and weary, Evelyn found solace in the memory of her sons, both of whom had faced tragic ends. Despite their tumultuous paths, she held on to the hope that they had found peace in their own way. Weeks passed, and Evelyn was finally released from the hospital, her body still frail but her spirit unbowed. As she returned home to fully recover, she found herself enveloped in a sense of peace, a quiet calm that settled over her like a warm embrace. Though the pain of her loss would never fully fade, Evelyn found comfort in the knowledge that her sons' turbulent lives had come to an end. The community that once feared them was no longer in fear, and the families whose lives they had affected could finally find closure. As she looked toward the future, Evelyn found herself filled with hope for a life free of the burden of uncertainty. Though the road ahead would be difficult, she knew that with the love and support of those who cared for her, she could face whatever challenges lay in her path with courage and resilience. And so, Evelyn Steele embarked on a new chapter of her life, her heart heavy with the weight of her loss but her spirit buoyed by the promise of a brighter tomorrow. For in the depths of her despair, she found the strength to rise again, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest of trials. As for Desmond's father, Marcus Steele remained elusive, his whereabouts unknown even after the demise of his eldest son, Michael. With Desmond serving a life sentence in prison, Marcus seized the opportunity to disappear into the shadows once more, taking with him the stolen treasures he had pilfered from his own flesh and blood. With his ill-gotten gains in hand, Marcus could live out the rest of his days in hiding, never having to worry about providing for himself. His conscience, if he had one, burdened by the knowledge of the havoc he had wreaked upon his own family, would forever haunt him in the solitude of his clandestine existence. The story of Desmond and Michael underscores the profound lesson that childhood trauma can set the course for a tumultuous life. Their father's abandonment left deep wounds, driving them towards a life of crime as they sought validation and belonging. Evelyn, despite her best efforts to shield her sons from the harsh realities of the world, she could not shield them from the wounds inflicted by their absent father. Her unwavering love and sacrifice sustained them through their darkest moments, yet tragically, it was the very thing she sought to protect them from that ultimately led to their downfall. Through Evelyn's story, we learn that even the purest love and the noblest intentions cannot always shield us from the consequences of our choices. It serves as a sobering reminder that while love may conquer many obstacles, it cannot always protect us from the consequences of our own actions or those of others. Would you like part 2 of this story? Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story, share it with others who might appreciate it too. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more engaging content. Thank you for watching and being a part of this journey.